Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising, or welcome to High Priestess Key 333. Coming in to do the Gibbous waxing energy reading, okay, or messages, all right? So today I'm just discussing the Gibbous waxing since I didn't get a chance to do the crescent waxing that was before. Coming in doing the Gibbous waxing. Gibbous waxing, family, is always before the full moon, all right? It's a strong energy time. The gibbous waxing is when it's halfway lit, the moon, right? Um, it's halfway lit up, so it's not quite yet full, but it also means the actual combination or creation of the sun and the moon, mother and father coming together, right? To make that creation of that fullness, right? When you think of it spiritually in reference of the planets and so forth, okay? Um, so we're going to discuss the gibbous waxing. The gibbous waxing is the increase, right? So this is when you can harness some energy in reference of increasing your confidence and increasing your courage, increasing your energy to fertilize or to create something new or to banish anything, right? To take something away, but gaining the strength to do that, right? With the combination and the energy of both sun and moon, right? Because that's why you can see half pretty much, right? Halfway lit when it's a gibbous waxing, right? It's also a time in reference of a family abundance, marriages, things like that, things of that sort around this time with the gibbous waxing. It is definitely a time for you to work on whatever it is that you want to bring that energy in reference of increasing whatever energy it is that you're trying to increase, right? And go in it with confidence and go in it with courage, right? We do have a full moon that is coming. The full moon will be on the 7th of September, between the 7th and the 8th of September. True Sidereal and VEDIC, I will do a video on that as well. So I'll talk about that later, okay? And the lunar eclipse, I'll talk about in that full moon reading, okay? Or messages. I always start out these moon aspects and let you know what the transits is right now in reference of the true sidereal and the VEDIC and spiritual astrology. That's what we talk about here. We don't refer to any messages here around the Western, okay? So, or the tropical. I don't resonate with that. So we talk about the true sidereal and the VEDIC and the spiritual astrology of things here. When I say spiritual astrology, what does that mean? The planetary alignment, okay? Numerology, all right? So the sun is still in Leo, okay? The moon in Sagittarius, Mars is in Virgo, Mercury is in Leo now, okay? Jupiter is still in Gemini. Venus is in Cancer now. Saturn is still retrograde in Pisces, okay? Rahu is retrograde in Aquarius, okay? The Neptune is retrograde in Pisces still. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. Uranus is still in Taurus. Chiron is retrograde in Aries. And K2 is still retrograde in Leo. Now, Rahu is the north node. K2 is the south node, if you wanted to know that in reference of your placements based off of you know Western and stuff like that, right? But I'm telling you in reference of the VEDIC information as well as the VEDIC and the true sidereal are pretty much right there together, okay? Now, from a spiritual strength standpoint, before we get into the messages with the cards, crystals to utilize during this gibbous waxing time, you can utilize, your pyrite, smoky quartz, epidotite. Epidotite is one that you should utilize during this time. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Epidote, okay? And amzonite, all right? Those are some of the crystals that you should utilize or work with. I know I'm working with a smoky quartz that I have around this time. The incense and the oils and so forth, utilize some rosemary right now, right? Rosemary is a potent Incense is a potent oil, right? You can use it in, or you can use the actual rosemary, right? The herb, okay? In your rituals, in your baths, right? In your on yourself, on your person, right? In reference of protection, rosemary has many beneficial things to it. It can also, I put it in my hair, my locks to grow. Okay. So rosemary is wonderful. Okay. So utilize that right now to assist you. Also, anise, ANISE, right? Anise, star anise. That's what sometimes what people call it. That's a good one to work with right now, as well as dill, vertebrae, right? I love vertebrae. Um, and those are some of the herbs and the oils and the incense to utilize during the gibbous waxing. Right now is a good time to work with those things, right? To make your connection with spirit and work with your ancestors, right? Because that's the main thing we do, right? We do our work with our ancestors. And yesterday, I hope you guys did something for your ancestors in reference of working and so forth, right? Because they call it Labor Day, but the ancestors in the Most High, they gave us this energy to be able to work. And they actually worked so we can be where we are today, right? So I put fresh water out, fruits and things of that sort on my altar. So I hope you did some of those things as well. And if not, go ahead and do it today in this gibbous waxing. Right now, we're at 75% of the gibbous waxing because we're rolling into the full moon. And I just gave you the planetary alignment, right? So what you need to know about this season, we're starting out September, right? A 9 time right now to utilize this. They call it a harvest season has started, right? 9 is success. 9 is divine, right? You must connect and continue to move with the divine in reference of the things that you're doing and utilizing at this time, okay? It's eclipse season as well, right? So what is eclipse season? Eclipse season gives us a lot of energy around ancestral things, right? Things come into play. Things are coming to alignment because with the lunar eclipse, that's moon energy. With the solar eclipse, that's sun energy. So we have a lot of energy put into that time, whether it is, remember, moon is about darkness, is about things that are of dark, right? So the lunar eclipse may bring a time of darkness. It may bring a time of endings, right? And the solar eclipse is the lighter part, right? Brightness, right? So with the eclipse season in this month of September, this is a good time to work with your ancestors, your good and bad ancestors. Because remember, we have duality within. Okay, so I always talk about that on my channel and on Patreon, duality, working with your good and your bad side. Okay, because we all have that within us, just like we all have divine feminine energy and we have divine masculine energy. Okay, it is the law of polarity that lives within us as well as what we have to deal outside of ourselves. Okay, the universal laws. That was the first thing I talked about on this channel. Okay, where High Priestess Key, go back, and if you want to look in the playlist, it's under there too. Okay, but here you'll learn something, and if you don't learn anything, that's fine too. But at least listen to the aspect of it and have an open mind. Be non-judgmental. Right, that's what we're taught in my spiritual family, and I must continue to teach that to you guys over here too. Saturn is retrograde this month, okay, as I told you earlier, in Pisces, which is sometimes not a bad thing, okay. Saturn is a very strong planet in reference of restriction. Some things may still be restricted and some things may be allowing you to be let out of bondage, okay, of some things, out of restraints, and so forth. We have on September 4th, right before the full moon, we have a nakshatra that is in the Vedic that will be, hey Fatima, hey sis, thank you for being here. I'm over here doing my gibbous waxing moon energy and discussing some of the astrology, right? So for the Vedic, September 4th brings the Uttara Ashara nakshatra. That is the 12th waxing lunar day on a Thursday of this week. Okay, so which is the 4th in 2 more days. This is something you should be paying attention to if you're working with that moon energy, which I always tell everybody to work with the moon element, please. Okay, but in the verdict, okay, that is the a day that is coming up. It's about fixed quality, okay, of this nakshatra. It's the most fitting for activities in which the energy of solarity is desirable. Sorry, messed that up. Such as setting a foundation and entering a new home, placing large fixed objects, and long-term planning. Okay. It says within September, today stands out amongst the most generally stable days. So on the 4th, that energy of that Uta, and that's the moon element, okay? Uta Ashara Nakshatra, that is a definitely good time to start planning things for the rest of the year, right? Remember, September is a 9-month, right? So that is a successful time, or as harvest season starts, right? For you, those who put that energy and time into whatever it is that you want to put into place for the rest of the year. Okay, so it starts a long period in which we, work into some things. There will also be some worldly things that we're going to start seeing around judicial systems, around court systems, around legal issues. We're going to start seeing and hearing a lot of that in this month, because 9s go back to that legal justice, right? Liberty and justice for all, right? That's what they say. But we'll see some things come into play with that. Remember, 4 is about the moon, right? So we'll see something on that day also on the negative side of deception. Okay. But coming in this gibbous waxing, and we'll still be in the gibbous waxing then, right? Today, the 2nd, the gibbous waxing, I told you guys we'll see a lot in reference of technology, things of technology, maybe, right? Today we'll see things that, and tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we'll see some more things, because it's leading up to the full moon, okay? Today is the Mercury day, right? With the 2nd, okay? But it's actually a Mars, because we're in a Tuesday. So it's Mars and Mercury, which is 26, which also goes back to your future, okay? Oberon energy. So when I'm talking about the planetary alignment, just know that it's all about you planning for your future. That's probably why the answers is pointing towards the verdict messages as well for you guys in this astrology. I tell you about all different astrologies here, but the main purpose of telling you about the true sidereal information, the verdict information, and the spiritual astrology is to bring it all together, right? Because that is the true planetary alignment and the things that'll be happening leading up to, the next phase, the next moon phase, okay? Which is, we're moving into the sun energy, right? A strong energy of, mother, father, sun and moon coming together and making this full aspect of things, illuminating things when the full moon comes to play, okay? So with that illumination, right, comes whatever zodiac is seeing is illuminated even more. And so this moon that we have coming, that is going to be considered in the modern terms a blood moon, that is going to be an Aquarius moon, okay? Although they'll tell you it's a Pisces moon. I think that's what they tell you in the Western. I don't know. I can't keep up with Western no more. But in the true sidereal and where the planets will lie, and I'll show you that, and when we get into the full moon reading at a later video, it will be in Aquarius, okay? So for my Aquariuses out there, this is prone energy for my Aquariuses. I'm Aquarius in my South Node, okay? So I know that this energy is going to affect me in some shape, form, or fashion, okay? But when we think of Aquarius in the spiritual sense, with this increasing of energy that is getting to this Aquarius energy, right now we're in Sagittarius, so we need to be asking for mercy. We need to be, asking for mercy and understanding from our ancestors right now of what's to come. Okay. Because it's a lot of planetary alignment moving, a lot of moving and shaking in reference of the energy that we're dealing with, family. Okay. That Aquarius energy takes us back to Jupiter energy. So expansion of things as well, right? Good time if you're doing the greater good. It's a good time for you to usher in the things that you want to usher in with working with this gibbous waxing energy moving into the full moon, right? Jupiter is still in Gemini, right? So that's a lot of air. Okay, so it's going to bring some conflict that'll be expanded as well. Okay, on the negative side of things, we have to look at it like that too, because it's duality, right? It's duality in everything. So we look to see an expansion of some mess, which it looks like it's going to go back to some governmental court legal things that we'll start seeing with this gibbous waxing up to the full, right? And we'll see a lot of karma, a lot of judgment, things, people judging others, a lot of things that we'll be awakened to. We'll see a lot of people coming, awaking, right? With us moving into this powerful expansion of energy, right? We're going to start seeing a lot of things that are going to be the opposite of what we have never seen before. Because remember, moving into this Aquarius energy, right? Aquarius energy is with the law of polarity, okay, in the universal laws. So what does that tell us? The law of polarity is just that, the opposite, okay? And being able to work with that. So if we really look at the universal laws, right? And let me give you the textbook way of them explaining it to you guys. The law of polarity is the opposite, is everything has the opposites. The opposites are the essential of understanding, which is the duality. It ain't nothing but explaining to you the same thing that I'm telling you about anyway, right? The duality in everything, right? Just like there's light, there's dark. Just like there's hot, there's cold, right? Darkness and light, whatever the duality is, about the fundamentals of understanding the polarity that comes with an expansion of that now. So within this time, this gibbous waxing that we in now, and compared to what we're leading up to with this full moon, we may see a lot more of the understanding of things that have been in the darkness being shown to us, okay, revealed to us, okay? Because remember, Aquarius energy also is a collective energy. It's a group energy. It's not an individual energy. Aquariuses are known as reference of the collective, a group energy, okay? So when you think about this gibbous waxing energy, family, right? And it's connected to, I'm going to tell you what signs is going to really be affected. The air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, very strongly with this energy that we're going into, okay? Because not only is it Aquarius in the spiritual astrology, Aquarius connected to Jupiter, but also Jupiter connected to Libra, okay? And then we already see where the ancestors is telling us about that Gemini energy. So air signs will be affected strongly, okay? I think they always say, what is it, Aquarius, constellation of Aquarius is what, I know it's an air sign, but I want to say it's kind of like a water sign, to tell you the truth. But I was trying to see if it was mutable or what is it? Let me see. It can tell. It'll tell me. I can never remember the mutables and the fixed and all of that, right? I can never remember those. I'm trying to comb this real quickly, family, to see which one it is. It don't tell me. Okay, well, whichever one it is it a mutable sign or is it it's just giving me more about the actual is it a part of that one? Is it mutable or not mutable? It's gonna tell me here. I got it. Okay. Hold on, I found it. No, it's fixed. It's fixed. Aquarius is fixed. So that makes a lot of sense too. Okay. So since Aquarius is a fixed sign, they're the stabilizers. So there's going to be some energy in reference of that as well with this full moon. Okay. That's that foundation. Okay. We can hear a lot of things going on with like foundational things, right? So yeah, we're going to hear something about that leading up to that. This is fixed signs is definitely, yeah. The fixed signs are trustworthy types. Yeah, to-do lists and stuff. Yeah, they do, but that goes back to being fixed. Being fixed means to be steady, right? So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me now that I know that, because I can never keep up with those, right? I never was able to keep up with those. Anyways, so back to this energy of the gibbous waxing, right? Because we're only talking about it. Let's do our reading because I don't want it to be that long. Yeah, I've been on here 20-something minutes. Okay, let's do the reading. Let's do the cards, right? So you guys know over here, I don't use tarot. I use my oracle cards that are set with me and the ancestors, and we get the messages directly from the ancestors, from source, about what we need to know leading up to this full moon. This is the gibbous waxing. Okay, so let's see what the ancestors want to tell us about this gibbous waxing and leading up to this energy that we're get ready to have with this full moon. What is it that you want us to know, ancestors? With this full moon that's coming, this gibbous waxing energy that we're in. Tell us about this gibbous waxing energy that we're in at this time. We're at, I think it's 75% it showed of the gibbous waxing that we're currently in, ancestors. Give us some notion of this energy and what we need to know right now as a collective. Ashe. Okay. So ancestors gave us a lot of Phobos energy in here, okay, as well as Aries. Aries may be affected strongly in Capricorns, very strongly with the energy we're dealing with right now. Okay. So definitely got Aries, right? So Aries could be affected within this energy that we're dealing with. Also, we're going to see a lot in reference of the law of cause and effect, because that goes back to that energy. And also, the law of cause and effect. So things that you do now will affect your future, as I just was saying. See how everything comes together? Family winds up. Ancestors say the truth is the truth is the truth. Okay, no matter who delivers the message, and no matter how the message is brought to you, you will hear the truth. Hey, Melissa. So this is the energy. So right now, we know that some of the things we'll see some, and I'm gonna tell you the negative part of that as well. Okay, I'll tell you the positive, and I'm gonna tell you the negative of what we're getting ready to see with this gibbous waxing and what's coming up. Okay, because remember, waxing energy is about increasing. We're gonna see a lot of things around greed. Okay, people being greedy, even in some type of legal situations. We're gonna see a lot of things come out about businesses, about money, about people being constraints, imprisonment. Okay, we're gonna hear a lot of people expressing themselves. Okay, because this takes us back to throat chakra, so we're gonna hear a lot of that, right? And some people expressing themselves and telling some truths, and some people who not gonna be telling the truth, not utilizing that throat chakra. Okay, but also going back to that Phobos, this is a time of prayer and meditation. You should be in prayer and meditation. You should be working with your ancestors. This is a time, right? You should be repenting. This is a time. Then we also have the overall energy. Okay, so the overall energy that comes up for this time, family, is very strong energy. Okay, is in the message of what the ancestors is telling us. A lot of energy goes back to low vibrational energy that's in here. Okay, people doing a lot of things that don't serve their highest good and may not serve your highest good, but I deliver these messages because I want you to understand the things and the energy that is happening. So if you can shift that for yourself, then you can make something different about your outcome, because ancestors say you control the outcome. Okay. Right now, it's best to not live in an ego, right? Because a lot of people are living in their ego. Okay, they're allowing their ego to take over, and the ancestors showing it again. That's why the law of cause and effect is here. That's why the greed is here. That's why the energy of, um, you know, restrictive Saturn type energy here too, right? Which we're in Pisces with that, right? And Neptune is in Pisces too. So you got to be very careful. Piscean energy is what? That ebb and flow, right? Going back and forth. It's that watery energy as well. But it's also an illusionary energy. And it's also Pisces with that restrictive can actually have you all in your feelings about some things, where you speaking, you talking about some things, or you talking, or you judging, or you arguing, fussing and fighting, you projecting your energy, right? And maybe in a negative way, or it could be even in a positive, but I'm looking at it in reference of the law of cause and effect. And the ancestors say you have to watch this energy. You have to watch exactly how this may go. Also, a lot of energy out there in reference of fear. Be careful of people putting fear in your heart. Okay. Shouldn't have fear, have faith in the Most High. Okay. There's a lot of that that's going to be happening. Okay. But right now, the ancestors definitely giving us a lot here about strength. We're going to see a lot come out this gibbous waxing, getting into the full moon, going up to the full moon. We're going to see a lot in reference of leadership. I already told you that. Remember I said it's going to be some things that come out about leaders. Who's in leadership? That goes back to the presidents and all these different leaders of different countries and so forth. And for us to have strength and not be in fear, because there's going to be some things that start to be revealed, right? Because of greed. Right? But it's the law of cause and effect right now that's coming out, that the ancestors is showing us. This is also goes back to the number 37 is very strong here. Something about 37. We could see something about 37. It could be some type of record or date or something that comes out, or time. I don't know. But it also takes us back to, Jupiter energy as well. But anyways, this is going to be a time that we're going to see things that people are going to be in fear, but it's going to be about self-control. You have to control yourself. You have to allow that warrior spirit to come out of you. Have courage. Remember, we talked about that at the beginning. Ancestors keep telling us to have courage and have confidence. Right now is the gibbous waxing. That's what we're talking about. That's what the energy that you have to have in this right now, because of the things that'll be happening. Right now, it's about using your intellect, right? Your intelligence, being able to adapt, utilizing healthy habits. Okay, when it comes to money, when it comes to communication, okay, being able to speak with others and know how to, utilize your throat chakra for the greater good. Also, to connect with your ancestors, this is a good time, because they can allow you and they can help you with these type of situations. For some of you, things around your home interventions, your living conditions, your lifespan, even, you're going to have some type of intervention that may come around for you at this time, even in your finances for some of you. And that's a good thing, right? Even for some of you who are having health issues, right now it's time, right? And right now you may have that come to play, okay? But right now, it's like some things, it's better to put your time and your energy in, because you don't want to be average. You want to be above average. You want to go into something trying to increase, right? And then we could also see that in a negative aspect of thing, where something is above average. Maybe some, let's say if you have a fever, and I'm talking about health during this time for you, then it could be above average. So you want to work on that, right? So this is an example. Another thing that ancestors is saying, the negative side of this aspect of what we're to deal with the gibbous waxing right now, is during this era, right? During this era, this time. This is about deception, promiscuous behavior, thing of this sort, emotional issues. We'll see a lot of just negative habits and people using negative words and speaking negativity, bringing about this with the collective. Because remember, we're moving into that Aquarius energy. Lust will bring the promiscuous behavior. So you'll see a lot of that. Could see a lot of deaths in reference of promiscuous behavior, right? Because the people lusting, sexual lust sometimes can be deadly, right? So you'll see some of that. So this is the energy, okay? And it's many states that we'll see that looks like it's many things that is going to come about with this type of situation that we're dealing with this gibbous waxing, okay? A lot of increase of things that are happening, family, okay? I think that's all I want to get into with this. We'll look at more detail about this energy, but right now, be careful. It's about communication right now. Remember, I told you it's air energy. It's a lot of air. Work with your incense. The communication can be negative or it could be good. Also, the communication in reference of your ancestors is heightened right now. So please tap in with your ancestors, okay? Because we're in the air element, okay? Supernatural things you'll start to see and happen at this time during the gibbous waxing and during that full moon energy. Remember, that energy is strong. It's the dominant energy that we're getting ready to move into. So be aggressive. You may be aggressive in reference of your spiritual gifts and the things that are happening. You may start seeing supernatural things that, around you, as they call them supernatural. I call them spiritual nudges, okay, from spirit, from source to start. And you'll notice that, remember, this energy of the Uranus moon is here, okay? So be very careful. Uranus can be very wicked. On the other side of things, it can bring a lot of unalivings, and a lot of suicidal energy. This month is a suicide awareness month. So I will be doing on my All in the Cards channel, I will be doing some suicide cases. But be careful, because you could also, if you're going through some emotional issues, like I talked about earlier, you could be having suicidal thoughts. So be careful. And if so, use the suicide number. Talk to somebody, check in with yourself, and have, check in on somebody who's going through some issues as well. If you know somebody who's going through something, okay? Because they could be having these thoughts. This is something that's coming around with the mental well-being, okay? And heart issues as well. I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what spirit is trying to show us and tell us. It's also things about the brain. The mental health is affected strongly right now, family, okay? So I'm getting that a lot. Take care of your mind. Okay? Take care of your mind. Because when I always tell you guys, when they got your mind, they got you. And in some cases, this, right, is still stuck in a mentality that they can get you, not just, off of, physical things, like, you can go somewhere and they cheat you out of something and stuff like that. But this is the main thing that they want, mind control, okay? So please be aware of that. And that comes in reference of fear, okay? Because when you're in fear, you do anything. Survival mode, desperate, right? The trickster is moving around strongly in different aspects of life. It's increasing. See what I'm saying? So that's the energy around this gibbous waxing and the messages that we have. For my Capricorns, for my Aries, you may be affected strongly. Even my Sagittariuses, Scorpios, Geminis, okay? Be very careful. You're probably getting a lot of warnings. But you also are going to have a lot of amazing, if you're doing the great and good, you're going to have a lot of amazing miracles to happen, right? If you believe. Right. So much love to you guys. I'm gonna get off of here in reference of the message for the gibbous waxing. I'll be back probably tomorrow to do the full moon, because we got a lot to talk about around the lunar eclipse that comes with that full moon. This full moon is going to be crazy. So remember, full moons are going to be so illuminated. This full moon is going to be so illuminated in Aquarius energy, family, that it's going to show you so many things in the polarity of it all, of the duality, the good and the bad. All right. I love you. I will see you guys soon. I'm High Priestess Key checking off. I see you guys. Peace, family. Hey, Eldra. Gotta go back. I'm done, boo. Much love to you guys. Peace.